I believe we are live, but let me know. Let me know in the comment section if we're live right now. If you can hear me normal, we had a few episodes last time that there was like a ticking noise or something like that. Let me know. Hopefully we can hear me. We're gonna go over first. I'm gonna let some people like come in here, but first we're gonna go over this team that I'm on the clock for right now. It's the only league I'm on the clock for, and then I'll post a link in this chat and we'll do a draft like with everyone here. Sometimes I'm going to switch in between different things. Sometimes I'm going to do a best ball mania draft, a puppy draft, something like that. Doesn't involve you guys, but I think for the most part, you guys enjoy being part of the draft. So I'll try and post a link. But yeah, we're gonna go over this one first. I honestly haven't even looked at my team. I forget how this draft went. And let me know about the setup. I have a new like sidebar and then like the bottom bar. Just let me know if you want anything moved, if you want my face moved somewhere else, any sort of setup. Let me know. It's the first time we're doing it this season. What's the first? Kind of low, but maybe that's just the okay. Nice. Let's go over this team. I think I have a really good stack in this one. We got Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, all at ADP values, just a little bit. We've got Justin Herbert, so we're obviously not looking quarterback right now. We have one running back, that's fine. RB or hero RB builds are like pretty optimal in Underdog. One wide receiver, so we're definitely looking running back or wide receiver at this pick. Definitely not tight end, definitely not quarterback. So let's look through the positions. We are at pick 75, so we prefer to pick someone at a good ADP value in that general range. Montgomery is our top player, and this is honestly like a good kind of start off to the season, right? Even though Montgomery's a top player, much better chance that like we can get him in the next round as opposed to someone else. So our next pick is all the way over at 94. So probably won't get Montgomery, but not out of the realm of possibility. And you don't want to be reaching for players like that much because it's like, well, someone else, this is the best ball mania 4 draft. Someone else is going to get Montgomery in round 8, and their team's going to be better than mine because they got him at a value. So always try and get your picks at value. So we're basically looking at Pacheco, Akers, Swift, I would say, are like the three we're looking at there. No values. There's really no values at wide receiver right now. You would lean towards Stack. Quentin Johnston would be a good option, but that's a reach for him. So maybe we're kind of thinking this next pick, could it be Quentin Johnston and David Montgomery, and then hope we get a running back with this pick. I think that's kind of the lean I would go towards. It's a hero RB build, so I'm more willing to take a risk, which has me leaning towards Swift. Pacheco, gonna probably provide value by ADP, but the ceiling for Pacheco, not in love with it. And then Akers, I mean, I guess he's a decent pick by like that metric as well, just thinking about ceiling. But I guess overall ceiling, probably DeAndre Swift. And by ADP values is the best value. All right, I'll make that pick there. There's the team. We'll go over and see. Yeah, I'm one pick away over here. Team full there, so we don't have any more there. Let's do a draft. So this is on a delay, so it's going to show up before you guys like see me do it on the screen. Just click the link. It's not a spam link. We're going to do a fast draft. We don't want to do the slow one. We messed up on that last year. We'll do a $3 one. We'll create a private draft. This is a normal. Oh, it's a 3-person. That's why I was checking. 12-person, $3, fast. All right, that's what we want. Create the private draft, and then we will share that link into the chat. All right, and fire away with questions now. There's a little crown next to you. I feel like that was added in from not being there last year. But fire away the questions. We'll try and answer them throughout the draft. The rankings are updated. If anyone wants to go to the website, put in like my rankings. I think I updated them 2 hours ago, so everything's up to date there. If we don't fill for people in the chat, we're going to post this on Twitter as well, and I'll just like answer questions in the meantime. I should probably open up a new tab so I can see everything over here. All right, hold on. We're gonna tweet this out. All right. Tweet. And send now. All right. We'll answer questions in the meantime. So, doing your first cardio club. Oh, wow. You're doing a draft right now. Nice. So, for those of you who don't know, cardio club for Underdog. If you do, I believe it's 7. There, just go to the Twitter and watch the video. I'm like featured in the video. You can watch that and get everything. 7 drafts. It's the next 30 days. You have to do cardio while drafting. It's got to be a Best Ball Mania 4 draft. So go for a run, go to the gym, do like a Stairmaster, do the elliptical, I don't know, do a bike, Peloton, something like that. Do cardio while doing the draft, and then you just have to tweet a screenshot of your team. You've got to like post a picture of like what you were using, and then use like hashtag Underdog Cardio Club. Whoever has the best draft during that is going to get a free max entry into Best Ball Mania 5. That's insane. So I'm definitely going for that. So it's like you're only competing against people who are also working out during that. But a free max entry into Best Ball Mania 5 is like, I think almost $4,000 worth of like prizes. Because that's, I mean, it's whatever 150 times 25 is. So that's an insane value for anyone who's able to win that. You just have to like change the name of your draft to the ones that like make sure you're doing Underdog Cardio Club. But yeah, and then you also get the rake free. So once you do your 7, you get into the club, then every single cardio club draft you do after that is rake free, which is like awesome. You never get rake free anything. So definitely partake in that. Again, just go to Twitter. I may have butchered some of that. I'm also going to pull up, for some of you who don't know, this is where you can do Underdog drafts. Anything in black is a no-go. You know, you live in Washington, you live in Louisiana, you live in any of the other states that are black here, you can't do any of these drafts. Everything else, even the gray, so like I'm in New Hampshire right now, I cannot do Pick'em. I have to drive to Mass, to Maine, to Vermont, something like that to do Pick'em, but I can do drafts. As you can see, I'm drafting right now. So anything in gray, anything in yellow here, completely good to be doing drafts. And then we'll flash on the make sure that if you have a problem, then and make sure you're 18 plus. Please do not be signing up for accounts when you're like 16 years old. You got to follow the rules in your state. But everything on here, read that. Got a gambling problem? There's the numbers you can call. So we're the 101. I promise I did not set that up. That's actually the first time I'm in. I finished 2. I think I finished 2 drafts. One you saw on the screen was like finished, but like the draft wasn't done. And then I'm in whatever you guys saw before, 8 or so of the drafts. I have not gotten the 101. The 101 is Justin Jefferson this season. We're just going to make the pick and call it there. I understand if people want to do McCaffrey at the 101, totally fine with that. I'm actually right at ADP. Like my rankings are set up exactly how ADP is. Jefferson, Chase, McCaffrey, Cup, Tyreek Hill or Tyreek Hill Cup. I don't remember which one it is, but they're basically the same. They flip-flop if you change the smallest amount in any of the projections. After that, it's basically Kelsey, and then it's up for debate, really. I mean, you've got a pretty clear top 6 this season. 7 on. I mean, you want to take Adams. You might get Adams at 7. You might get Adams at 15. I mean, it really is just like there is no concrete answer. You guys saw last Thursday, I did Adams versus Diggs versus AJ Brown. This was the order we decided in the video. But like many of you in the video, you guys thought Diggs should be first. And like I said in the video, like they're all awesome. Like I really don't care which one you take. I'm just going to take Adams for like all of the reasons in the video. Mostly the touchdown ceiling. Like Adams could have 18 touchdowns. I don't see it as much with the other 2. And then I did kind of think AJ Brown was, you know, a little bit behind those guys in terms of all the projection stuff. Okay. So we're actually, this is probably a good setup for us. We're going to we have the turn pick. So we're going to have a long time to answer questions and then a long time to figure ourselves out once we get back in here. So let's see if anyone submitted anything. 2 people submitted like an hour before the draft even started. Where can you talk to me about dynasty and keeper advice? You're trying to figure out your stuff. Here, Tim Curry, ask your questions in here. Don't ask where. Just put your question in. Also, 17 likes, 73 concurrent viewers right now, and some people who fell off. 129 people were here at some point. Let's get a like. Let's get a like for the first live stream of the season. Hopefully we can We can take some of your money here. I actually went through. I thought people would find this curious. I went through and I looked at all of the live stream drafts from last season. So just the ones, because I don't do any drafts for like a 12-team league only, not tournament, unless it's with you guys. I'll never just like join a random 12-teamer. I'm always going to do either the tournaments or with you guys. So it's pretty easy to just look what happened. I made $3. I made $3 total in all the drafts with you guys. I honestly thought that I would lose because you've seen me miss picks and like screw up a bunch. But yeah, we were $3 profit for the entire season. So go us. All right. You like the setup so far. Nice. Who's the final running back that you would consider a hero RB build with? That's a great question. Theoretically, you could do it with anyone because it's like, well, if they hit, right? If you hit with Jacobs, like if you did it with Jacobs last season, it theoretically would have worked. But the last one I would use, you said Stevenson. Yeah, so I would do it like Pollard, Brees, Henry, Gibb. Maybe with Gibbs, Stevenson. Yeah, it really starts to fall off there. I would say no further than Stevenson. And I would say Stevenson, assuming they don't go after, one of these free agents, Leonard Fournette, Ezekiel Elliott, Kareem Hunt. If they don't go after any of them, Stevenson. Definitely, like, I would not do it with Etienne, with Najee, Aaron Jones, Miles Sanders. No, I wouldn't do that too. So yeah, I think Stevenson. But if they get someone, honestly, and I'm almost like, I don't even want to do it with Gibbs almost. Like, if it feels weird to say because Gibbs is ahead of him, but I don't know. Part of me almost wants to answer Henry, to be completely honest, and say like Derrick Henry be the last one. You get a true Derrick Henry season of like 1,600 yards, 18 touchdowns, like, can happen definitely. Yeah, almost want to say Derrick Henry for that question. Okay, so we haven't been paying attention. We have to make 2 picks here. We would love Chris Olave. Great, we're going to get him. We would definitely consider Devonta Smith. So a really, really cool start could be those 2 players. We're not going Mark Andrews this early, so we're not looking at that. If one of the first 3 quarterbacks were available, we would have taken them. They are not, so we're looking at running back here. And there's no real good values at running back, and I'm not going to force running back. So we're going to take Chris Olave, and we are going to take Devonta Smith. We have started off RB0. We have a number of different options here. If you have access to the website, I have, I believe, 10 articles up. You'll see 5 of them are Hero RB, so I have that projected to do on the offseason, which we're going to go into a ton of detail in, not the Sunday that's coming up right now, the next one. I'm going to do a full detailed breakdown of that project and how we did the simulations. But a very brief introduction to that. I simulated 500 years worth of leagues for every single like pick strategy, I guess. Hero RB, RB0, all those different things, all these different variants of it. Obviously, there's like, quintillions of actual combinations you can do. But we again, I'll talk about it in the video. We kind of found ways around that to really just see what strategies work best. Hero RB is awesome. Overtime Hero RB is going to work on Underdog. But another awesome strategy that has a lot of really good builds is just hammering the wide receiver position early. Like, one of the top builds is starting off with 5 wide receivers in the first 5 rounds. It's an insane strategy. Maybe we'll do it in this one. And what's good about the articles is they're so easy to read. You can read them in like 2 minutes. And I'm probably going to pull up so that I can see, for reference, if I do start off with the 5 running backs, you can pull them up easy. It's color coded and it screams at you. Here's what you do. You can glance at it in 2 seconds, and they're kind of easy to remember if you like look at them a little bit, but it's easy to forget different things like exact strategies. So I remember that it's optimal to go 5 wide receivers, running back, and then I'm pretty sure after that it's 1 tight end, 2 quarterbacks, and it doesn't totally matter the order there. So you'd have 5 wide receiver, running back in the 6th round, 7, 8, 9. You're taking 2 quarterbacks and a tight end in whatever order you want. And then I'll have to see how you end the draft. I forget what it is. But that's a very, very optimal strategy that is probably underutilized because a lot of people just don't, want to take 5 wide receivers to start things off. All right. But that was a great question. A great way to start things off with the Hero RB question there. Yeah, draft rigged for Nick getting the 101. I feel like I'm going to go over here just for a second. The The 3 pick is really good this season because you're getting, like, you can start off with Hero RB with McCaffrey. The 4 pick is pretty awesome because, I mean, the drop off between like Jefferson, Chase, Kupp, like, it's not massive. What I would say is last year we weren't in love with, like, after Eckler, it was like that 5-6 range. And this year it kind of seems like 7 because you have to begin making that decision of like Diggs, Bijan, Brown, Eckler, Adams. It's like a lot of those guys are the same. So you'd rather have a top, 6 pick and kind of lock in one of those guys, or just be later in the first round. I think last year it was top 5. I don't think there was a 6th player that we really knew who exactly we were taking. But yeah, I wouldn't say 101 is perfect, but I will say this. So in that strategy project, I guess, for the app, you can see like how things work out. So I ran the simulations for picks 1, 4, 6, 9, and 12. And it does work out that like pick 1 is what you want. You just work out like under the exact same builds, pick 1 just like gets you more points on average. But in redraft, so I did the exact same thing for redraft, actually it kind of leans towards middle. It leans towards like pick 4, pick 6 as being really good. And I wasn't expecting to see that. But again, you could win with any pick, obviously. But over time, when these things will become available, obviously the team is working on getting as many states as possible. But yeah, kind of unfortunate that some states just like don't allow you to do different things. But, lucky for me, I guess you could say like it takes me 10 to 12 minutes if I want to drive to Mass and drive back. So whenever I tweet out those like slips for Underdog, it's because I had to drive to like a McDonald's parking lot, park there, tweet it out, make the pick, come back over here because it won't let me do it. Okay, we're coming back up. We would love Hawkinson with this pick, but it looks like we're gonna get what we want. Like there's 3 wide receivers here. We basically, actually 2 of them only. So McLaurin and Keenan Allen will allow us to do the build that we were kind of thinking about starting off with just like the 5 wide receivers. Probably wouldn't do it if both of them aren't there, but I might take one of them. But Hawkinson would be a really good pick at this spot. Still no running back value, so it looks like you guys are taking, and Hawkinson goes. That's a good pick. Because they're taking them pretty early. I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to do it. We're going to do the 5 wide receiver start. Yeah. We got to do it. If I was talking about it, we can't just not do the build. If you wanted to go Pittman there, that's fine. Smith and Jigba, Christian Kirk, I think would have been a little bit too early, but yeah, so another thing, you want to make sure you do these builds when it is like optimal to do so, in the sense that like, okay, let's say you read the article and you're like, okay, Nick says do this in his first stream. He's doing this video. He's doing the strategy. I'm locked in. I am taking 5 wide receivers in this draft. But if it doesn't work out and every single one of your picks, if I had it pick 24, the best wide receiver was 27th ADP. And then at 25, it was the 30th ADP. Well, now the strategy doesn't work out as much because we know for a fact, it has been proven, ADP value matters. It absolutely matters. And even if you just think about it logically, of course it matters, because we're in tournaments. This one isn't a tournament, but like in general, you're in a tournament, you're going up against people in the league, like people are drafting for money. ADPs aren't perfect, but if other people are getting picks that on average are not typically available at that spot versus you who are reaching rounds ahead, it's like you end up maybe like losing a round of value. You could say that I took picks in like the first round, second round, and then I took a 4th rounder. It's like, well, now I almost gave up my 3rd round pick. But if you're always taking ADP values, you're just setting yourself up way better than other people, and you're drafting teams that weren't possible for other people. For other people that went with, a 5 wide receiver start, maybe they couldn't get this exact combination because those players just weren't available. But if you reach, now it's more likely that those players are available and someone has a build just like you. So I hope that makes sense. But yeah, you want to be getting value. You don't need amazing value. At pick 48, I took, basically ADP 50. At 49, I took 48. I guess you could have flipped those. But like the point is, don't be reaching for like 65 at that spot because that's not great value. But yeah, we're going to target a running back at the next one. And I really do want to bring up the the article so I don't like butcher exactly how it's done. I'm like 99% sure I said it correctly. Of course, I have to log into the website. I'm almost positive I said it correctly for the first 9, but I want to make sure for the rest of it, we're going to do it correctly. I believe the strategy is called wide receiver. Oh, no, it's a different one. Oopsie daisies. So there's a strategy called wide receiver God mode for Hero RB. This was not Hero RB. Is this one? It is. Okay. Extreme robust wide receiver is what I named this one. 5 wide receivers, running back, 2 quarterbacks and a tight end in the next few. And then in the final rounds, you're taking no quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end. It will be a 2-7-7-2 build. That's what we're going to go for. Now, I also want to point out, we don't have to do that. And I don't want us to like overfit the model here and like be drafting teams like just specifically for it and like reaching. If there's not a good value at running back at this next pick, we're not going to force it. My hope is just that I took all these wide receivers. Everyone else in the league probably isn't at the same spot for wide receivers as me. Maybe they're taking running backs and now they're going to kind of not take running backs after that. And so hopefully there's at least one that we can take. But we shall see. Let's see if we got any more questions at this spot. Question about a Superflex keeper league. How many keepers per year is good? And what other settings should I apply for keepers? Oh, okay. So you're starting. Okay. I'm assuming you mean you're like starting off a league. What settings? So I was in a keeper league where we only kept 1 player. I think that's good for people who like if you're transitioning the league from like redraft to keeper, maybe in that first year, like only do 1. If there's pushback, like if everyone's like all in, like, yeah, let's do a keeper league, then, go for it. Right. But in the first year, if it's a transition year, like 1 seems pretty good. I would say if it's super flex, if you've got like deep benches, 3. Oh, we're almost up here. I like 3 for the keeper. I'll answer the rest of the question after we get to here. Bunch of wide receivers come off the board. Okay. So we are at pick 72, 73. Literally the exact same position that we were in for the draft that we were going over a second ago. Part of me wants to take Swift here. And I'm gonna poo-poo Swift in like the video tomorrow a little bit. But yeah, I think I want to go Swift because it's a really good ADP value. And I think later on maybe we can get some value there. Who's available at quarterback? No one. Okay. Is there a tight end we can take? No. So this is where it would happen, basically. We don't need to force ourselves into the strategy. We'll take 2 running backs here. I think I'll take Pacheco. Yeah, I think I'll take Pacheco. The hope was at that pick there'd be a good value for quarterback we could have taken, but we'd have been reaching like a round ahead of ADP on Watson, and we don't even have a stack. Like if we had the stack, maybe I would have done that. But I mean, the odds are most or all of these quarterbacks will be there at that next pick, so we don't need to do it. At tight end, I'm not picking 20 spots ahead of ADP to grab Evan Ingram, so we didn't want to do that. I probably should have looked at wide receiver, but even if I had, I wouldn't have been in love with any of those picks. So I think we did well there. Again, the thing with Montgomery, maybe this is more of a thing in, can't think of the word, in like the tournaments, right? I can't get that tournament mind out of my mind when it's like, just a draft here. But like, I guess if we're doing this for you guys, I would never make that pick on a tournament because so many other teams are getting him at a way better value than that. It's just not optimal. If he works out, I'm going to get crushed by the teams that drafted him at 90, 95 when I'm taking him at 72. They got way better value than me. Their teams are going to be better than mine. So here's the team so far. For those of you who haven't seen every pick. I mean, it's on the screen, so you should probably be able to see it. But Justin Jefferson, Olave, Devonta Smith, Terry McLaurin, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, and Isaiah Pacheco. We really, really do want quarterback and tight end with this next 2 picks. They're coming off the board. I'm hoping this general range will be here. Would love to get Kirk Cousins to pair with Justin Jefferson. Would definitely be fine, though, with guess we don't have a giant, but we could probably get a giant later in the draft. And maybe is Waller. Waller's gone. It's unfortunate. I was going to say maybe we could have paired him with Waller. But like, possible we take. We're just not going to start here. All right. Well, I'd like to do them in order, computer. I have a fantastic computer, by the way, so everything is just glitching on the screen right now. But the point is, we're hoping to take 2 with this pick. So I would very much like everyone to stop drafting their quarterbacks. I don't even know. Yeah, I guess I would definitely take Evan Ingram if he was there. Would I take Njoku knowing that Deshaun Watson's gone? Maybe, yeah. Okay, so we do that. We would do Daniel Jones, Geno, Cousins, Dak, Tua, Rodgers. We would do all of that. But again, it'd be amazing if we got Kirk Cousins and Evan Ingram at this pick. But I don't think it's going to happen. There's a lot that goes by before us, so we'll see. You were in 12 drafts last year and made a whopping $12. It's okay. Yeah. I would say that I am not in these drafts with you guys to make money, especially because I recognize all of these names. I recognize the names that I'm drafting against. I know many of you have the rankings. You're drafting with my rankings. I mean, the odds are we're all going to break even. I mean, really, like at the end of the year, we're all going to be at pretty much zero. And especially because there's no like ceiling in these drafts. Like there's no, if you could have one team in Best Ball Mania that just destroys and makes up everything else. Also interesting this year, if you guys don't know, Best Ball Mania changed their payout structure. So last year was all playoff based. I mean, effectively, you got money for advancing. So like, if it's the top 2 teams in a 12-team league, advance. If you advance, you make money. Every single time you advance, you make more money. Simple, right? This year, it's the top 1.5% of teams. So you still need to do really good, but there's regular season prizes. So if you have a draft that makes it in top 1.5%, you 10x. Like, that's insane. And maybe don't quote me on that. I want to make sure I got everything right there. I swear if they take, and there it goes. Was it even, okay, it was at least part of a stack. He had Addison. Oh, it was a good pick. He had Hawkinson, Addison. That's unfortunate. Okay. We should probably should have had a backup there. We will be able to take a stack with Dak. I know that. We'll be able to get a stack with Dak. I don't know if we'll be able to get a stack with Tua. All the good stacks are gone, so I kind of don't want to take him. So I'm not going to do Tua. I think we'll be able to get a stack with Daniel Jones. There were no tight end. I don't really want Pat. I might take Daniel Jones at this pick. There's no wide receiver standing out to me. No running back stand out to me. All right. Let's take Daniel Jones. A slight reach on Daniel Jones, but it's only a few spots. And again, I know we'll be able to find someone. There'll be like a wide receiver late that we can pair with him. And Dak, I think I'll be able to do that too. I've basically been doing, when I can't figure out the Dak stack, I just take Deuce Vaughn. So basically, with my last pick, I get Deuce Vaughn on the team, and I hope that, there's just a week towards the end of the season where maybe they're dominating Deuce Vaughn. Maybe they don't bring someone in. Deuce Vaughn's like the third down back, and there's like a 2-touchdown Deuce Vaughn game. And how many people? There's gonna be a lot of leagues that don't even have him, and that's basically been like bailing me out of those. I was gonna check. So Cooks is gone, but basically I could do Deuce Vaughn, and I could also do Michael Gallup. So we have 2 outs for that stack. And then again, for Daniel Jones, there's like a number of different wide receivers we can take late, those different portions, so you'll be able to get there. Optimally, you probably want to be taking that quarterback that's stacked with these guys. And again, I was 1 pick away from getting Kirk Cousins. We really would have liked that. But I mean, could I have waited and maybe gotten Derek Carr? Maybe. But I wouldn't have wanted to stack with Terry McLaurin, and I couldn't have done Keenan Allen, couldn't have done Devonta Smith, missed out on Jefferson. So a little bit unfortunate there. We have a little bit of a stack there with DeAndre Swift and Devonta Smith. So, maybe we have like a 2 rushing touchdown game for Swift and then a 2 receiving touchdown game for Devonta Smith. Those things can still work out. All right. Notorious. Hope things are going well. Hope things are going well with you as well. Why would you go for a fourth wide receiver in Terry instead of maybe a running back like Brees or Etienne? Well, I don't remember who's on the screen, and if I pull this up, okay, yeah, we will be able to see that. My pick. Oh yeah, it was one. McLaurin. Well, Etienne went at 36, and I was picking at 48, so that's why I didn't go with him. And then Brees Hall went at 29, and I was picking again at 48, so that's why I didn't go with him. I was going to say those players were definitely not on the board. Because of the strategy we were trying to implement, a very, 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 very good strategy that will not be implemented enough is starting off with 5 wide receivers, grabbing a running back, 2 quarterbacks and a tight end, hammering running backs late. We could not end up doing it because we didn't see value and we didn't want to reach on players we didn't want there. But we've got most of the setup for it. We're going to have to take 2 tight ends. If we can't get 2 tight ends relatively quickly, we're probably going to have to modify and go for 3 tight ends in the later rounds, which would be fine. We'd take one of those picks away from running back because we took a running back a little bit earlier than the build suggests. But that's why we're going with the extreme robust wide receiver strategy for that one. John had drafted 2 tight ends too early, or tight ends too early. Well, I don't know who you are. Oh my! I hate when it does that. I hate when it. Oh, okay, this is probably your team. Underdog. I understand why they do it because they don't want people to think like they're looking at someone else's team and drafting for that. So every time a pick goes by, they change the team. But it makes it annoying. There should be like a lock button or something where it's like, I want to look at this team. I don't have to keep going back every time. So you took Andrews and Kittle, both at ADP values. I don't think that's bad. I don't know that it's optimal. There is one. It's called like robust tight end. That strategy is not bad. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly how it works, but you can see on the website how it works. But I think you're pretty even everywhere else. I wouldn't say that you're weak at any specific spot. You're weakest probably at wide receiver. So I would want to try and maybe finish with eight wide receivers because like you're not going to take any more tight ends. You took 2 really good tight ends, so I mean they can help with the flex spot a little bit. Because this is what I'm talking about. Okay, whatever. We're not going back to his team. But yeah, I don't think that's too bad. If you had reached on both, that would have been bad. Okay, tight ends. We're at 120. There's nothing, so we're probably going to have to go with 3 late. Wide receiver, nothing. There's no good values to this spot. There are no players that are really screaming at me. Harris is a good value, and we're looking for touchdown upside in these leagues, so Harris probably should be one of our picks. And then Charbonnet, you guys are letting him fall, probably because most are using the rankings, so that became a really good value. I always do this. I don't know if anyone else does this when I'm at the turn pick. I make sure I take the first player. Like I make sure basically I go Charbonnet and then I go Damian Harris so that it looks better on the Harris pick, that I got a little bit better value because I was going to get good value anyways here. Basically, it's for the screenshots, obviously, but I don't know if anyone else ends up doing that. So yeah, we basically have abandoned the perfection of this strategy, but we can still use the core of it. The core of it wanted us to finish with 7 running backs and 7 wide receivers and 2 tight ends. We're probably going to go with 6 running backs, maybe even 5, because now we've taken a decent amount here. We'll see how it works out. Again, we could take Deuce Vaughn later as the 5th one. We're probably going to want 2 more wide receivers. I know I took 5 early, but like wide receivers still volatile with the strategy. You're kind of assuming you're starting wide receiver in the flex most weeks. Like that's 4 every week. So we're going to want 2 more. But yeah, tight end, we're going to have to go triple tight end because you guys really like the tight end position early on. Oh, we got defenders coming in here saying, yeah, Brees Hall was way gone. All right, you're in a keeper league with 8 keeper spots per team. Wow. Your wide receivers going into this year are A.J. Brown, Keenan Allen, Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, and Treylon Burks. Do you think it's worth reaching for a guy like Diggs or just go for a young wide receiver? Because I guess, okay. In a keeper league, I mean, I guess it depends if, it's auctions. Thank you. It's auction style, by the way. You're coming to this year with $157. So I'm assuming, yes, you keep people at the value. Okay. Because, I mean, you already have A.J. Brown, Keenan Allen, Calvin Ridley, Burke. So you've got A.J. Brown's a wide receiver 1, Calvin Ridley's a wide receiver 2, Keenan Allen's a wide receiver 2, Burks is probably a wide receiver 3. That's just off the top of my head. But like in general, that's kind of what you have. So you're saying, should you spend up for Diggs, have 2 wide receiver 1s, 2 wide receiver 2s, which would be awesome value. Or go with a young guy. My only thing with saying a young guy is like it's an auction keeper league. So if you're saying like, oh, should you go with like Garrett Wilson? It's like, well, you're going to have to pay up for Garrett Wilson anyways. It's not like a keeper league where you're using round value and you're like, should I go young, in the 12th round? Like, obviously, yeah, if you're in the 12th round, you should go with a young player because that'll really help you. So I would say spend those cheap picks on like younger talent that could break out, because if they break out, you're keeping them for not much money and they're really good. Whereas if you're spending a lot of money on younger players, it's like, yeah, you get to keep them, but at a high cost, I'm assuming, to which it's not really providing you all that much value. Hope that makes sense. So I would lean towards thinking about youth with those cheaper picks. Like, don't spend $2 on some like old player that is never going to increase in value. Like, I guess that's kind of the thought process there. Think about it then. I would just draft normal, especially because it's not like a dynasty league. You're not giving them up for $1. You're still paying for them. Hope that makes sense. I have thought about that, actually. Paying a premium for Evan Ingram after his strong finish last year, plus adding Ridley. Yeah, I mean, that is an interesting way to look at it. Will it open things up for him in the sense that like people are guarding Calvin Ridley as the 1? Or will it be like they're still using Kirk, they're still using Ridley, they're still using Etienne? Now Evan Ingram's only getting 4 to 5 targets per game. He's coming off his best season. You're really drafting him, where he was last year. It's an interesting thought. Maybe. Honestly, maybe. Okay. There is not much at the running back position. Why is Leonard Fournette ADP on this? It's like everything's jumbled for people who are on teams. We are not going running back with this pick. Quarterback, well, we don't want to do that, obviously. Wando's our top player, but I don't really want to go there. It's like Alec Pierce. Oh, Gallup. We should take Gallup. That should be one of our picks to get the stack. Let's lock that in. There's no one else that is screaming at me. Can we get a good tight end? Oh, all right. That's a good value for Cole Kmet. All right. Cole Kmet has been cratering. I wonder if he'll show up in I have to record that tomorrow. Every Saturday we go over I got him at 170 the other day. Like, people just hate Cole Kmet. Did news come out that I missed on Cole Kmet and why everyone hates him? But his ADP was 132. It's 136 now. I would not be shocked if by the end of the week it's 140, pushes into 145. No one wants him. I don't know. Maybe something happened that I'm not aware of, but hey, we got good value there. We're going to try and get good value with all of the tight end picks, but value when we start getting into rounds, 14, 15, 16, 17, there's only so much value you can get around 16. At that point, just kind of pick the players that you want to be picking at that spot. But if we can get good value by ADP, that's always awesome. This team doesn't have a tight end yet. Jordan Love, Josh Allen, Walker, Dobbins, Underdog. Not bad. I like all the wide receivers there, but definitely get a tight end at some point. So they're going to be, I looked at that because they're going to be competing with us for, I always take a look at what people have. So, it's 2 tight ends here. It's I want to see that because it means that maybe we're going to get better value at our tight end picks. I don't want everyone to be picking late tight ends. I almost want to hesitate in saying which ones I want, but I will not do that. I will sacrifice the EV. Obviously it's in order. This is my rankings on the screen, right? But people that stand out to me, Juwan Johnson, Dawson Knox falls, and he's been cratering since obviously they drafted Dalton Kincaid, right? But they've also okay, so here's the weird thing with Dawson Knox, right? He's deservedly falling in drafts, but everyone's saying oh, gotta draft Kincaid because they can use him as a big slot receiver. they're going to use 2 tight end sets, and like, he's always going to be in the field. And it's like, okay, if you're right, then why are we creating Dawson Knox? Because if Kincaid is operating out of the slot, doesn't that hurt Khalil Shakir? It hurts Gabriel Davis. Why does that hurt Dawson Knox? It doesn't. Like, if he's in the slot, it literally does not hurt Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox was there for touchdowns, and that's not really hurting him. I think people are overreacting to how much they're actually going to do that, and that he's still a rookie. Kincaid's going to be awesome this year, but people are drafting him a little bit too early. In which case, honestly, that's bad news for drafting Dawson Knox, because I don't think Kincaid's used in the slot as much. I think it's used as a tight end. If he's used as a tight end, that hurts Dawson Knox. So kind of depends on how you look at it there, but regardless, 167, I mean, I have seen him go in like the 180s before. Like, he's still a very good player. When you're looking in this range, you're basically just looking for touchdowns. Well, he plays on the Buffalo Bills. Anyone who plays in that offense has touchdown upside. Now there goes Juwan Johnson. Yeah, so he'd be definitely on my radar. Do I have Trey McBride too high? I'm actually surprised to see him there in the rankings. I need to move Laporta up. Definitely someone I want to be drafting this season. Gerald Everett, I don't love it just because like when they had everyone healthy, he had way less production, and then they added Quentin Johnson. Like, I mean, is Everett going to get like barely any touches this year? Like, probably. He's probably not going to be used that much. Okay, so 168. I would take Dawson Knox with this pick. I'll say that. Gosh, if he's not there, I don't think I'm going to take a tight end. I think I'm going to take... All right, good. We get at least one for Dawson Knox in there. Running backs. Ugh. Not good. Not good. We'll probably just draft another wide receiver. Oh my God. We're probably going to end up taking Jaden Reed. That's what my guess would be. But we'll take Knox. That's a good pick. We'll need one more there. I think I want to take Jaden Reed. Do I have a stack yet with the Giants, though? Yeah, I should probably take Hodgins here, right? Is there anyone else? I should have probably paid attention more and taken Hyatt, but yeah, I should do it. I should take Hodgins. It doesn't feel good, and I did reach a little bit, but like I said before, reaching in the 15th round, it doesn't matter too much. We did want that correlation there. I don't love it, though. We're going to have 16, 17, 18. We're going to have 3 picks left. We are sticking with our 2 quarterbacks here. One of those 3 picks will be tight end. I couldn't care less which pick it comes with. It'll probably come with the last pick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're at 7 for wide receiver. We're at 4. So I think I want to take 3 running backs and a tight end. But if I can't find another running back, I will take a running back, a wide receiver, and a tight end. And I don't really care about the order for any of that, so we don't have to pay attention too much. What about Hyatt to go with? Yeah, I just missed that. I already released I released that a while ago. The rookie rankings for wide receivers for redraft leagues. I don't love Hyatt. The Tennessee offense is weird. It just it's not weird. It's just that like they don't operate like the NFL does. Hyatt was in the slot, off of the line, running one-on-one with the safety like every play. Like literally every play is just like go deep, one-on-one with the safety. And if you're fast and you're like relatively athletic, you're going to produce really good numbers in offense like that. Like one-on-one with a safety is a really tough spot for the safety to be in. And there were so many plays where he would just run straight, like no skill at all, run straight, wide open touchdown. And it's like, that is never going to happen in the NFL. He's never going to be in that weird bunch formation where it's like he's lining up behind someone off the line. It's like, can he win? And I'm not saying he can't. I'm saying I don't know if he can. So I'm never going to draft in a redraft league, for being honest. But in a non-redraft league, so in like best ball like here, I don't really care that he's not going to be consistent, that I'm not sure if he has the talent to win consistently in like route running and stuff like that. All I care about is he plays really, really fast. So he plays faster than his 40-yard dash time. And he'd be matched up with my quarterback. Again, I didn't actually end up drafting him, but I should have, because when he hits, it's going to be for like 60-yard touchdowns, and that's obviously going to correlate amazingly with Daniel Jones. So definitely go after him in redraft or in best ball. I have in the rankings, like the best ball rankings understand that he's a player like that, and so he's higher in the best ball rankings, and he's lower, well, I guess where he would be in the redraft rankings. But I wouldn't draft in redraft because I don't trust it at all. I don't see a world, honestly, where Hyatt produces consistently this season. Maybe in the future, but not this season. But still good in best ball. Do you have any general auction strategy tips for this year? 2 quarterback, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex league, so no running backs? I'm assuming you just mixed running back there. On the spot dynasty advice or auction league advice? No. Maybe I'll think about for next week's stream a few tips for auction leagues. I don't have any off the top of my head. But I mean, just like in general budgeting, like understanding how much you want to spend at different positions and what you would do if things change differently. But like just run through and be like, well, how much do I want to spend at wide receiver? How much do I want to spend in the flex spot at quarterback? I mean, typically in a super flex league, you want a top 12 option, right? And you might want 2 top 12 options at quarterback. How much does that cost you? Where does that leave you with everything else? Like just basically like think about how the draft could play out in your mind. Okay. It is getting gross. We only have 1 pick after this. I think I should just take the Deuce Vaughn pick. I know we got Gallup, but how many people are going to have Gallup and Deuce Vaughn as their draft there? But I kind of want to just do that. So I might just let it auto draft me Deuce. I'll make the pick, whatever. Take Deuce Vaughn. I couldn't care less which one of these wide receivers I get, so let's just take my favorite tight end with this pick. Who could do something? Who could score touchdowns this season? I guess Gesicki could outproduce my rankings, right? There's no one else there. Ugh, that's disgusting. Mike Gesicki. Gross. But really just thinking about like Noah Fant, in what world does he break out? Like, again, these are like your average rankings. Like on average, he produces this in the rankings. But they added JSN, who's going to take away so many of these middle of the field targets. The likelihood is, I know Pete Carroll doesn't want to do it, but the likelihood is they're going to run way more 3 wide receiver sets and less 2 tight end sets. That's going to hurt Noah Fant. He wasn't even that amazing before. Now he's got way more competition. They've added running backs who can pass catch. Like, I don't know. I don't think you need him. Hunter Henry. Ugh. I mean, he's so gross. And basically you'd be hoping for the touchdowns with him. But it's just so, it's gross. I don't like Hunter Henry, and I'm a Patriots fan. Luke Musgrave, like a rookie tight end from Jordan Love. No. So then you get to Mike Gesicki, and it's like, well, maybe the Patriots are like, listen, our wide receivers are trash. Let's run Mike Gesicki as a big wide receiver. Maybe he kind of takes over as the red zone threat. Like, I don't know if that's going to happen, but it could. So why not take a shot on that? But again, I went with that over the wide receivers because I could genuinely care less which one of these wide receivers I'm getting this pick. It doesn't look like there's any stacking opportunities. I don't see Dallas. I don't see the Giants here. Who are people we like? I mean, Tank Dell, Tillman could break out. I guess Hardman could have a few big games. Trey Tucker could break out. Kayshon Boutte could break out. Other than that, not much. Not much. It got thin pretty fast. Like then I would basically just go in order of the rankings. Yeah. This is what I'm looking at. It's not fun. We're hoping that our core, Jefferson, Olave, Devonta Smith, Terry McLaurin, Keenan Allen, we're hoping that can get it done. And then we'll just kind of fill in a few weeks after that. Okay, so going back to the man who wanted auction. Where do you allocate your money to which positions, which caliber of players should I target? Again, think of it like a redraft league and then kind of just assign the money after that. in a redraft league, if I'm going for super flex, I don't want to take 2 quarterbacks late. And so why would I want to spend little money at quarterback? So assign more money there. In a 3 wide receiver league with a flex, I'm probably going wide receiver heavy. So think about spending more money at the wide receiver position. So just think about where you would draft them in a redraft league and assign the money that way. Kelsey is worth a first overall pick in my opinion. No, I don't think so. In the Sims, it actually hates, even if you have, like, it basically says you need to have a mid first round pick to take tight ends. Like, it does not grade out optimally to take one with like the 1 pick. It doesn't even like the 4 pick. It's like once you hit 6 pick, then you can start taking tight end. And that's built off of a pretty much a lock at taking or getting a really, really good tight end with that first pick. So in the Sims, like, I mean, how many tight ends have not worked out in recent years when you take them in the first round? Basically 0. So the Sims understand you're going to get a really good pick. No matter what strategy you implement after that, whether it's not even drafting another one, drafting one in the last round, it's still just not amazing. He's a mid first round pick. Like, you should be taking Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Christian McCaffrey for sure in the top 3. After that, you're probably looking at Kupp and Tyreek Hill, and then I think Kelsey. But if you want to take Kelsey at 4, I think that's fine. Who's got the most upside of these players? I do not think it is any of these 3. I don't think it's Trey Tucker unless they cut. Let's just do it. I know this feels like a homer pick taking. I did draft him, right? It's not your turn. It certainly is my turn. I do not know what's going to happen in like 5 seconds here with this league. I don't know. Let's just pull this up in case something goes away. I'm also curious what it's going to cut off there. It's on a delay, so I'm not going to see what happens for a few minutes here. But this is the roster for everyone. Just to finish that Keyshawn take. I like him as a sleeper, but I understand he could stink. He could get cut. He could have no production this season. Like, all that, certainly possible. I would not call myself like the biggest truther in the world. I just know that I've heard good things about what he could become. And it's like, if you're going to bet on someone, well, let's bet on the kid that, was regarded as a very, very high-end prospect before the injury. What if it's just taking him longer than initially anticipated to recover from the injury? And that's basically his out. If I'm looking for Cedric Tillman in that spot, it's like the out is, if he didn't get hurt, maybe he has the season that Jalen Hyatt had in that offense. Maybe he goes early in the draft. Cleveland Browns, really, really good offense, we're assuming. Likely going to be a very pass-heavy offense. Maybe he just, overtakes Donovan Peoples-Jones quickly. He's the number 3, has some good weeks. Like, those are the path for those two. Whichever one you think happens more, I'd go with that player. Any questions here? On Underdog or Best Ball, how often would you take running backs on the same team handcuffed? So difference there. I've seen a lot of people like taking like Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson. I would not personally do that, but I've seen people like doing that. Handcuffing, if you are in a league like this and you want to take Alvin Kamara and Kendre Miller, do it. Totally fine. Because a league like this, you're just trying to get a solid outcome and finish in the top 3, because we're only drafting for like these people right now. If you are in a league like Best Ball Mania 4, the Puppy, the Pomeranian when that comes out, the like $3 no rake one. Actually, don't quote me on no rake. For those ones, I would not, because if you end up being the team that takes Bijan, right, at 8, and then you take Algier, and you're like, well, I still got the Algier production, and then maybe you advance. That's great, but you're advancing, and like all the teams that took Austin Eckler and then Algier, those teams are going to crush you. And so maybe it helps you advance a little bit better, but there's no point. You've basically just taken a pick where if that works out, your first round pick has to bust. That's not a world you want to live in. So you can do it in these ones. I wouldn't do it in other ones. But yeah, some people really like taking like an A chain in Mostert and just like getting the production in the backfield. I think it's fine. Like this person almost fell for the trap. Rashad Penny and Miles Sanders. Let's say they had taken. Oh, I took Swift. I should have known that. If you take Swift and Penny, I don't think it's a bad move. I would just say it's most likely that one of them works out. So why not just draft two teams? Draft DeAndre Swift on one, Penny on the other. One of them's probably going to shatter their ADP, and that's the team we're rooting for to get in, to the playoffs and advance. Hopefully get you that $3 million. Like that's how I would personally play it, but I understand when people just want to be like, oh, I'll capture all the production in the backfield. Sure, it can work out. Anything realistically can work out. I lean towards upside. Would you rather keep Debo in the 7th or Pittman in the 11th? Thanks. It would be nice to know the scoring format for your question. Maybe I'll show you guys the Keeper League tool. I'll load it up in the background while we maybe do another question. I built an app this offseason that'll help with those questions. Let's see, because when I do these live streams, it takes a lot from my computer. So not everything loads properly when we're doing it. It looks like it is loading, so that's pretty nice. But let's see if it'll do like final loading. Okay. And let's go to, if you don't tell me in a few seconds, good. Okay, half PPR. Thank you. All right. Oh, it's freaking out. All right. I'm going to let my computer cool off for a second. It did not like opening all those tabs up. I will answer your question in a second. I'm going to show you guys the app. Let's go to something else while that loads. Actually, let's make sure. All right. Rankings, half PPR. Okay, we'll load that up. Who took Taysom was my ace. Oh, Taysom. Yeah, where did Taysom Hill go? What color are tight ends? Blue? Blue. He went in the 15th round. Oh, was that the team we were looking at that didn't have any tight ends? I think it was. So they went Juwan Johnson, Taysom Hill, Hunter Henry. That's pretty solid end there. Yeah, that's basically where he kind of should be going. I'm not someone who's been drafting him right now. I drafted him a little bit last season. I don't know, man. He's getting up there in age. They got 1 billion running backs. Like for them to pull him onto the field and run these Wildcats when they have Alvin Kamara, Kendre Miller, and Jamal Williams, what are you doing? I mean, really? Like, I guess I understand it a little bit, but I don't know. I don't buy it. I don't buy that he's going to be amazing, but he's a tight end. So it's like if he scores 5 touchdowns in total, he's probably going to be a good pick in that range. Okay, so that should have loaded. Download the CSV for that. So it's going to be sad if this doesn't work on stream. So basically what happens with the app, it's very simple. How many teams you got? Wonderful. Upload the rankings. So you go to the website. I just did this in the background. And you find it. No one hacked my computer. Get here. Half PPR rankings. And you upload those. And it's like wonderful. Who would you like to keep? Our option in this one was, would you rather keep Debo in the 7th or Pittman in the 11th? Okay. Debo Samuel in round 11. Or would you rather, 7? 7. Round 7. Or would you rather keep Pittman, Michael Pittman Jr. in round 11? Easy peasy. You go to the bottom, and it tells you Pittman. Pittman's going to give you 3.59 points of value versus 2.38 points of value for Debo Samuel. So very easy to use. And again, it works off of, it's got like a, oh, I could use this too. Gives you a link to all the different rankings. Click it. Click the download button on the rankings. Click upload here. And then, I mean, it's a pretty simple tool. You guys should probably be able to use it. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty easy add-on. And that works the same as, I guess that one's actually harder to use than the ones for redraft and for Underdog. It's the same type of thing though with the app. Like you're just clicking what you've done. It's going to tell you what you should do in the future. I feel like I haven't done the shout out yet for Underdog. I guess I did early in the video. Double your deposit though. For all you still here who have not signed up yet, we're doing this every Tuesday. Most Tuesdays. I'll be camping one time, I think, and then I'll be in Seattle for another one. So I'm like not allowed to do it in Seattle. If you want to join into these drafts, sign up, promo code FFA. They'll double your first deposit up to $100. So if you put in $100, now you got $200 in your account. That'll give you a ton. I mean, you can put 40